I suppose this is where I ought to welcome you, you curious reader that discovered this journal, either on chance, or perhaps you actually sought it out. Whichever the case, do not expect a formal greeting. Just go right into this beast of a tale. If you are already this far, I will waste no further time with formalities. The Journal of Dr. Totally Not Beowulf, Grendel and His Grudges. The 21st day of the month of Mars. There are times in which I question the morality of my actions, where I wonder if I've strayed from the path that fate, or God, or whomever had laid out for me. Then I get the sweet salary check, and man, do those zeros at the end wipe away all worries. Forget the glory of a hero, I'll take the paycheck of a therapist, no dragons needed. My first patient is a young beast named Grendel. His reputation certainly precedes him, but based on what I could perceive from his mother, he truly needs the help. She certainly had gone to the correct place, as, apparently, he had eaten his previous 4 therapists. That is why my motto is make a difference or die trying. I have my work cut out for me, but I look forward to meeting him tomorrow. Signed, Dr. Totally Not Beowulf. The 15th day of the month of April. Today I met Grendel's best friend, and I realized that his situation might be even more dire than I realized. Out of extreme loneliness, he has personified his shadow and projected his need for a friend onto the thing. The odd part, however, is that during our sessions, I swear that I have seen it move independently of its owner. But that is surely incorrect. It is simply a shadow, right? His attachment to it is concerning, to say the least, and perhaps it is time for me to help him come to terms with the non-existence of his friend, and to help him through his severe loneliness in a healthier way. Signed, Dr. Totally Not Beowulf. The 19th day of the month of Maya. In order to get a better understanding of my patient, I met with his mother once more. I found the meeting place, a lake, to be a bit odd, but who am I to judge? She certainly could do with some perfume, but perhaps such a scent is attractive for swamp monsters. Grendel has a very negative view of his mother, referring to her with crude and offensive names, and it was rather disheartening to see the effect it had on her. I mean, I had no idea what she was saying, and I just nodded the entire time, but she did seem quite woeful. Perhaps Grendel isn't the only one in the family in need of my help. Signed, Dr. Totally Not Beowulf. The 20th day of the month of Juno. I received quite an interesting proposition today. The mayor of Herat, Hrothgar, has requested me to violate the delicate trust between patient and doctor in quite the extreme way, but with Grendel's unfortunate life, perhaps this won't just help the citizens, but also Grendel himself. The compensation would be quite handsome in both gold and fame, but would it be worth it? I finally feel a breakthrough imminent, one that would be rendered meaningless if I carried through on Hrothgar's wishes. I hold the fate of Grendel in my hands, and I am unsure exactly what I will do with it. Signed, Dr. Totally Not Beowulf. The 2nd day of the month of Julius. Perhaps Grendel is not deserving of his hatred. It is not his fault that God had sent him into exile. It was his unfortunate circumstance of birth, of his fate, but it is not his fault. I know him enough to know that now. But therein lies the issue. I cannot look upon him the way the others look now that I have known him. I no longer see a beast. I see a soul in desperate need for companionship and love. I almost wonder if I should truly help him instead of... No, I can't write that. They can't know. The second day of the month of Julius. This is my first time writing today, certainly. I did not attempt to write anything before, certainly not. I have chosen to go along with Hrothgar's plan. It is an offer I cannot refuse. How could I face my people if I refused to slay a monster, especially one whom I have seen just how deeply rooted his issues are? Even if I had doubts, which I certainly do not, it is too late now. I have already given my word and cannot go back on it. Even if a part of my mind begs me to, I swear by my word, as I do when I say I am truly sorry. Signed, Dr. Beowulf. The 10th day of the month of Augustus. The deed is done. I am hailed as a hero, but I feel like a monster. The town has begged me to once again raise my sword for the sake of good, to slay Grendel's kin as well. I have already betrayed my own moral sense in an irreparable manner, so I might as well become the monster only I seem to see. I suppose that is how it goes when one travels beyond their intended path of fate. By ending the life of one monster, I must have taken on the mantle of one myself. The reflection in the lake haunts me, but not as much as the image that resides behind my eyelids whenever I close my eyes. I see his face, his horrified face. It was a look of pure betrayal reflected on the blade of my sword. I suppose it was a good thing my office has red carpets. I do not have to worry about stains on the ground, only the ones on my soul. The latter, however, are the only ones that will never come clean. Signed, the monstrous slayer of monsters. The 13th day of the month of Janus. Today was the day of the funeral. I was the only one to attend, but that was to be expected. I was the one who had the grave put up, after all. It was far outside the town's limits, as they would not have it anywhere near where they had the funeral pyres of his victims. I would not be surprised if I found it defiled in a few days, but this at least eases some of my guilt. At the very least, he is not alone in death. That constant companion of his still remains, sitting, unmoving, behind the grave. That shadow is a far better person than I, for it always was and always would be there for him. For one final time, signed, Beowulf. How lucky for you that this is where the story ends. I might have skipped a few pages here and there, but if you are this far, I assume you're smart enough to put the pieces together. Regardless, it is over. This was a story that would, for you, become insignificant in a matter of days, hours, minutes, seconds. I envy the luxury. What I have to live with will never have to pester your mind any longer. For you, now at least, this would be the end.